I am Johanson, here to bring you some words on the War of the Worlds. Our beloved nation has launched itself into a belligerent conflict, and we as Americans are stuck in a state of moral complexity based on our actions. The hastiest decisions are made within times of warfare. Quick thinking can make or break a firefight. Our ethics remain jumbled like a broken radio. But, that gobbledygook aside, what's done is done. Ladies and gentlemen, this is World War II. Electric Boogaloo! To address one of the most controversial issues among American society, here is Gladys Everbright.
Hello, Gladys Everbright here. The topic of civil liberties has always been prevalent during wartime. Since the formation of the American government, finding a balance between authority and freedom has been essential. However, as history has shown, from the Alien and Sedition Acts of 1798 to the Espionage Act of 1917, civil liberties decline when our nation is at war. President Roosevelt initially tried to prevent the repression that had occurred during World War I years. But the nation, afraid of disloyalty from immigrants, induced Roosevelt to contradict this promise. Thus, the Espionage Act was reenacted and the Smith Alien Registration Act was passed by Congress. This showed the uneasy state of the U.S. government during wartime as individual liberties were violated in order to ensure safety. Perhaps the most blatant violation of these civil liberties was the internment of Japanese Americans on the West Coast after the Pearl Harbor attack. The hysteria resulting from the attack influenced President Roosevelt to enact the Executive Order 9066, in which Japanese Americans, regardless of their loyalty or citizenship, were racially profiled and forced from their homes and businesses into internment camps. And now for a glimpse into the lifestyles of the internment camps. Upheld by Hirabayashi versus U.S. and Korematsu versus U.S., this imprisonment was seen as constitutional and fair in the eyes of many Americans. Thus, controversy has risen regarding the relocation of the Japanese. Although the government did this in an effort to protect the nation during instability, they contradicted the core values that America was initially built upon. What about our freedoms of speech, press, and religion? Our freedom from unreasonable search and seizure, our right to adjourn for years to come. Dispute regarding the issue of civil liberties during wartime will remain. For now, as a nation, we must be able to distinguish between necessary and unjust violations of our inalienable rights. And now, back to you, Joe H. Johanson.
And now, to talk about the continuing racial issues in our country, here is Magdalene Fiblin.
Hello. Since the initial building of our nation, the issue of civil rights has prevailed in American society. African Americans were provided with expanded employment opportunities during World War II, as was so during the previous global war. Eager to escape the rural poverty of the South, many African Americans enlisted in wartime jobs, only to be met with further discrimination from their government. A. Philip Randolph proposed a march on Washington in 1941 to protest government discrimination against blacks applying for federal employment. In response, Roosevelt signed Executive Order 8802 banning such discrimination in the federal government. Evidently, African Americans are shifting to more radical and militant methods to achieve equality. Clearly, blacks are facing irony from a nation that expects them to risk their lives in battle, yet continues to deny them basic civil liberties. In response, James G. Thompson initiated the Double V campaign, claiming in his letter to the Pittsburgh Courier that African Americans were fighting for a double victory in the war. Not only did they wish for the defeat of the Axis powers, they wished for the defeat of racism at home. Racial tensions are running high in America, and further movements towards equality will begin to emerge. Although America is a nation deemed as the pillar of morality, the flaws in our society are rapidly being unveiled. Thus, civil rights movements are quickly expanding in America. Although discrimination is much still present, activists are taking more radical measures to achieve racial equality. It may be years before such equality comes, but wartime experiences have helped accelerate the intense efforts that have emerged. And now, back to Joe H. Johanson.
And now to Barbara Dawson for a glimpse into the incident that led to the end of the war.
Howdy-ho, Barbara Dawson here. The Second Global War has reached its conclusion following the bombing of the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This bombardment has led to infrastructural, psychological, and physical damage among Japanese civilians. Although the bombing claimed thousands of innocent Japanese lives while essentially destroying two of their major cities, it ultimately prevented the prolongation of this global dispute. Controversy over the justification of this bombing has led to widespread debate. Did our nation take the right actions? Did our actions harm civilians? And if so, was it unwarranted? We as a nation are stuck in a complex moral dilemma. Our nation's self-image is currently being tested. Some claim that the attack of the Japanese was proof of our remarkable advancements in technology, asserting that they were simply getting what they deserved. Others argue that the attack was a mere war crime that cost thousands of innocent lives, likening the incident to that which occurred in the concentration camps of Nazi Germany. As for the rest, they live in silence, unaware of the circumstances and effects of the attack. These varying viewpoints have sent our nation into a state of moral complexity. The American virtue is coming under harsh scrutiny. The deep moral questions that have emerged will remain as we continue to launch ourselves into future affairs. With that, back to Joe H. Johanson.
Welcome back. We as a people are experiencing a complex moral dilemma. Americans, this is where you take a stand. The questions posed today remain interminable unless we as Americans can draw some conclusion. Thank you for your time, and now your feature presentation.
Defeat of racism within the U.S. as well. Oh, I hate my life.
In response to the terrible Japanese
Zoom out and then move closer to it. Go.
Critics may say we shoehorned our way into this conflict.
Meg, you can hear you.
You're blowing!
Claiming in his letter to the Pittsburgh. I hate myself. Damn it.
What's Pittsburgh?
Heidi ho, Barbara Dalton.
Hello.
Welcome back. We as a nation are experiencing a deluxe moral dilemma. As a people, we are experiencing a deluxe moral dilemma.